Today on the Nerdy Gritty, games, movies, and TV shows that we think should be remade.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Nerdy Gritty, where we delve deep into the details of pop culture. I'm Dez.
And I'm Fox. We were just talking about trivia. I was into a trivia contest last night, but I have a trivia question for you.
Okay.
But before that, I want to ask you, have you ever spent money on microtransactions? This is where we get to judge you.
Not my own money. There's Google Play credit.
Google Play credit, yeah.
Spent,
No, I've spent a decent amount in Google Play credit. How much? Here's a hypothetical. If you had you didn't have to worry about money. You could just spend it, whatever. How much could you see yourself spending on a game? Like, how much would you feel like, just whatever game you want it to be, it could be something. How much do you feel like would be, okay, that's a fine amount, you like the game, but...
So you're asking, what is my average, like, I don't have to want to be desiring this game?
Well, yeah, you just want to play it, and you
sure,
feel like, okay, putting some money into the game is okay, because I can afford it.
Oh, microtransactions?
Yeah, in microtransactions specifically.
Ooh, for me, oh, goodness, that's going to be pretty low.
Whatever, I mean, Division 2. Does Division 2 have microtransactions?
Yeah.
Let's go with that. Like, let's just say, if I had the money and didn't have to worry about it, how much money would you put into that?
If I had spare money and didn't have to worry about it at all.
And it's a game you like.
Yeah, and it's a game that I enjoyed. Again, it's on the low end for me.
Sure.
But I would probably say if somebody gave me cash and said, you should spend this on microtransactions, $15.
$15.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean, I'd probably go a little higher than that.
Right.
But yeah, I'd probably go no more than 30 or 40 actually.
Yeah.
Depending on what, I mean, and it would have to be substantial things.
To me, when it gets to the point that I can buy a different game, then I'm just like, nah.
Yeah, I'll just get a different one. That's a good point. Okay. So, that's pretty, that's a decent number.
Mm-hmm.
Now for the trivia.
Okay.
We have a new record. There's a new worldwide record of one person spending money on DLC in a single game.
In microtransactions?
Yes.
Oh,
in microtransactions on a single game. First of all, I would like you to guess how much money it is.
$800.
$800. It is higher.
$2,000.
It is higher.
No. $3,000.
Okay, I'm going to stop you there.
Okay.
$150,000.
What? What? How?
150 grand.
So wait, hold on, pause. Wait, you're telling me that there is a human being on the planet that was like, I could buy a house in some areas.
Yeah, Midwest America or
I could
many
have
other countries.
Microtransactions.
So let's see. Let me see. 100 million crowd, the highest spending users. This is I don't want to get into all of this. Basically, like in gambling, there is a term called a whale. It's somebody who's going to spend a lot of money. I know I was on the low side when I guessed a few thousand. I was honestly thinking like 10,000. Yeah.
We do a podcast, and so it's fun to be way off a little bit on purpose. But my honest guess was probably like 10,000.
Yep. Not 15 times that, though.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, another game. Let's see. There is a player who has spent over 150,000. Second trivia question. What game?
I'm going back to we had a pre-conversation. I'm going back to the same area.
Okay.
Second Life.
Okay. I'll give you another guess.
Wow.
It is Transformers Earth Wars.
What?
A game you've never even heard of.
What? I kid you not. I cannot imagine a human being that would spend that much money in microtransactions if they're not sex involved. Like, it's just, I don't know what.
It's maybe in this Transformers games you can do that with giant robots.
I mean,
you can probably do that in Second
Life. Maybe I just don't have a high opinion of human beings in general.
Less so now.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah, 150 grand by one player. Don't know who it is. That's not really important.
Fred Savage, the famous
Fred
actor.
Savage.
I'm not sure.
The boy from. Wait, is Fred Savage the one that was in? Oh dang! What's the show?
With
Winnie and Paul?
Yeah, that one. Oh my gosh!
Remember
with the Beatles song.
Yes. Get a little help from my friends.
Yeah,
yeah.
Except it's like a remake of it.
Well, sure.
Yeah, Wonder Years.
Wonder Years. There you go. Yeah, he was the one. True. You guessed that one right. Good job.
Yes.
No, this beat the record. Okay, let me give you this. The
Previous record.
Previous record. How much?
50,000.
Higher.
70,000.
Okay, in between 62 grand.
62,000.
A measly $62,000.
Jeez.
And that one is on what game?
Second Life.
You were wrong with all of your guesses.
Oh,
With both your guesses.
This time I'm gonna go with GTA Online.
RuneScape.
I can see that.
Yeah,
that one I can
RuneScape.
see.
I played a lot of RuneScape in the old middle
popular.
school. Okay, well, so your $15, not much. You can justify that now.
Oh my gosh!
Somebody literally spent. Let's see, what would the amount over be? It'd be 10,000%, 100,000% of what you would even consider imagining spending.
Again, I'm an opportunity cost guy.
Yeah.
And once I get into the point in which I could buy a different game altogether and enjoy that game, that's what I would do.
Sure.
It helps, for me at least, that I don't do a lot of like MMO or at least like endless game style.
Right.
I want there to be some sort of end content. When there is no end content, I guess you can get infinite hours of play. But when I'm thinking hours of play, but then when I start getting to the area like, or I could buy a car. But then when I get into the like property,
I
like,
can buy a house,
a home. Oh my god,
a summer house.
That is insane to me.
Yeah, it's a lot of money.
That's all the money.
Yeah, so now we can all feel a little bit better about ourselves that we didn't spend that much money on a single game.
A little bit worse about
everybody else.
Everything.
That one person. That one person in particular. Well, that's our fun trivia of the day.
Wow.
What you been up to this week?
Not spending that much money on microtransactions.
Oh, cool. Me too. Let's get down to the nerdy gritty.
Yeah.
Now, what you been doing?
Again, still on bed rest. I am almost finished with the entire series of The Office.
Last week when we recorded, you were at, I think, halfway through season 3.
Something like that.
So
I have almost completed
you have a problem, sir.
The Office.
It's your back. You have back issues, and so you watch The Office.
Yeah. What about you? What else you up to?
I've been watching. I finally watched season 5 of Black Mirror.
Ooh.
I love that show. Every episode is either hit or miss. There's very few that are just like, okay. It's either like that was stupid or that was really interesting. And season 5 had both of those.
Anyway, so I have been thinking a lot about Slay the Spire and microtransactions. Because I've been playing Slay the Spire while also on bed rest, playing Slay the Spire and watching The Office. And what I've been thinking to myself, what keeps me coming back to this game? Like, what is it about Slay the Spire that just continually gets me coming back? And it's how this has this really interesting balance in between consistency, but also newness.
Yeah.
So there's no new like sets of cards that come out. They don't add new characters. There's nothing like that coming out, but they'll add different challenges every single day. And it hit me, if they put in oh, you died, will you pay $1 to keep going? I would stop playing Slay the Spire.
Yeah.
And it just hit me all of a sudden that it's not so like I think they can make money off that. There are people I think that would work on, but I have an actual like aversion to microtransactions. Anything else you've been up to?
I went and saw...
That's really it for me. That's literally all I've been doing is watching The Office and playing Slay the Spire.
What a life. I went and saw Zombieland 2.
Oh yeah,
Zombieland Double Tap. Remember Zombieland?
Yeah.
It was less good.
Yeah.
Mostly because the Zombieland shtick was funny the first time.
Right.
And it's the same thing. It actually kind of was worse because it's been 10 years since the first one came out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like I was super invested in in those characters or story. It's a comedy that was relying on the comedy. That's all I've got because I'm really excited to get into. I could talk about more stuff, but I don't want to.
Right. Yeah, this is a little bit shorter of an intro for us today,
which is good. And by shorter, we mean. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. No, it's a good amount of time, but still shorter. Okay.
So congratulations on the lack of editing, Fox.
Yeah, it's fun. Let's get down to the old nerdy gritty. Hey, everybody. Before we get down to the nerdy gritty, I just want to point out that if you're hearing this, you are listening to the short version of the podcast of the Nerdy Gritty. If you are interested in hearing what we call the director's cut, you can head on over to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/dezandfox. And if you become a tier 2 or tier 3 patron, either $5 or $10 a month, then you would get access to the director's cut, which is a much longer version, usually about 20 minutes, 25 minutes of bonus content, as well as you'll gain access to all of the other content that we put on our Patreon. That means bonus videos, that means exclusive content, content you get before it comes out on YouTube, lots of games that we play. But if you can't do that, we really appreciate you for just listening, for liking, for sharing, for just being a fan. So thank you very much. Let's get down to the Nerdy Gritty.
So Fox and I were talking recently about, was it The Warriors?
Yes, it was The Warriors. Yeah.
So we were just talking about The Warriors as sort of a cult classic film, which if you guys haven't seen it, it's a late 70s, I think,
70,
film.
Yeah, I think it's the 70s.
About like kind of a dystopian type future in which...
No, it's not.
It's not?
It's just 70s New York in which...
Then it's an alternate,
Well, sure,
reality.
It's exaggerated, but it's just New York.
But either way, there's a large chunk of it that is basically ruled by these character-sticked gangs.
The concept is all of the gangs of New York. The movie. Just kidding. Obviously, all of the gangs of New York are gathering together at a certain place to listen to this gang leader. Like he's kind
of
the
leader of leaders.
Yeah, the Rufio, is that his name? Rufus?
I can't remember.
Rufus, something like that. He's like the one who they'll all listen to. They're all putting aside their beefs to go listen, and he has like this whole like, hey, we outnumber the cops 3-1. Let's take over New York kind of thing. During that time, somebody shoots that guy. And the Warriors, our protagonists, are blamed for it. And the movie is about the Warriors trying to get back to their turf.
And that's literally it.
Yeah.
And like there's this price on their head now.
Yes.
And it's really great for a lot of reasons.
I love it.
It's camped. It's overdone,
very campy. Yeah.
And it's simple. It's really to the point. We're talking a lot about the Warriors.
No. This is leading into it. It's okay. This is leading into it. To me, it had some social commentary there. There's a lot of like interesting like ways different genders interacted with each other, different races between like the different gangs and stuff. And it also was just goofy at times.
Right.
And what we came to the conclusion was, or at least I think, this is a movie that it's weird to me that it hasn't been remade. It's not one that's held up as a paragon of cinema. Like, they're not going to remake Citizen Kane.
Right.
They're not going to remake
12 Angry Men.
Yeah, they're not going to remake these ones, but they would remake this because people wouldn't be angry. And it's been like 40, 50 years since it's come out now. And like, why not? Why not mine it? And it would be good for like Halloween merchandise, Halloween costumes and stuff. Like real good for a lot of that stuff. And that got us onto this idea. What else should they remake? So I want to establish a few things here before we get into this.
Okay.
This is obviously all subjective. But
of course,
at least from what I've come from it, when I was thinking about this, should they remake something means, is there a point to it?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, they can remake anything, but could they remake something and still have it give us like some new context or some new like ideas or like still be relevant to society, but give a new generation to understand it? So that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Oh, wow. We went way different directions then.
Okay.
Way different
I'm really
directions.
excited. That's good though. That's good. This is going to be fun.
That is good. I like that.
Okay. So let's start. I have 2 of each in games, movies, and TV shows. I'm going to say, let's start with movies. That's the big one. We started with the Warriors.
Okay.
What are other movies? Give me
one thing that I went with that I think, and something we're going to do is also we're going to, right when we're done talking about it, we're going to Google.
We're going to see.
Is it already
happening? Is it already in production?
Yeah. So for me, right off the bat, kind of the direction I went was they tried it once and failed.
Okay. I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. It could have had good content or it could have had good possibilities.
Sure.
And then they failed.
For whatever reason, something didn't work.
And so now they have an opportunity to take it back and try it again. So we said you want to start with movies?
Yeah.
Super Mario Brothers.
Interesting.
I absolutely think that there should be maybe not even live action now that with that CG is at a
Oh,
place.
they could easily do.
Yeah, now that CG is at a place where it's incredible. The ability to make a character of Mario that's more than just the video game
I'm
guy.
a Mario.
Yeah, that would be a ton of fun.
Yeah.
And one thing that I think they would have to absolutely get away from is establish him in his own world as his own person. He is not Italian. Because that would immediately like have some issues of stereotyping and things like that. But the original Super Mario Brothers, starring Bob Hoskins and not Jared Leto. Dang it, what's his name?
Yes, Jared Leto plays a Goomba.
Freaking,
I don't know.
Oh no, he's
doesn't matter. Move on.
Anyway, he's gosh, I want to think of his name. He's in the first. He's in the first John Wick, and he is the guy who tells the boss John Wick's car was the one who got messed up.
I don't remember. I mean, I don't know what that guy's name is.
Anyway, the movie was bad.
Yeah, well, it was a piece of garbage. Yeah,
and it had nothing to do with
strangely
Super Mario Brothers.
weird.
It was really, really weird, and it very much had the feel of some like Super Mario is in a high place right now, you know, and we want to make a movie of it. Let's take a script that is already written,
maybe,
and somehow shove Mario onto it. And I don't know if you guys have ever seen the original Super Mario Brothers. I loved it because I was a kid and I watched it, but it is about an alternate dystopian universe.
It's baffling.
Yeah. In which there is this corporate ruler.
Yeah.
That is Bowser or Koopa. I think he's Koopa
something
in
like
that.
Yeah.
And he kidnaps a princess to take over, and she is Princess Peach. No, Daisy. This is where they get the name Daisy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is where the brown hair.
It's
Daisy
been a long while since I've seen it.
Anyway, all this to say that there's like police car chases.
Yeah, it's baffling.
Yeah, it's dinosaurs.
So the remake should be a CG movie. I can understand that.
Yeah, I think a remake should be a CG movie, maybe even in the line of like Detective Pikachu, not where it's like
live action
tied in, not that, but in as much as it kind of skates that line in between adult and kid.
Sure.
And
because your audience is everybody.
Right. And it's fun, but also a little bit serious. And lovable.
Get away from the princess needing to be rescued thing, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or at least give it a little more interest than that, you know?
I mean,
make her more than...
Peach already has, like, a character. She has an attitude, and as, like, a very capable person in-game. And so I think that there could be a lot of fun, maybe even, like, the Super Mario RPG style of storyline, which was a great storyline and a lot of fun. There are so many different Easter eggs that you could bring in.
Oh, well, sure. You could please the video game crowd pretty easily.
Yeah. And so I think, I mean, whether it be a movie or even a TV show, I think that is an IP that is ripe for the non-video game screen.
Plus, do it now while the voice actor for Mario is still alive.
Yeah.
That guy is crazy. He's hilarious and great, but
I have no idea.
Watch videos with this guy. He's hilarious.
All right. So let's see. Okay.
Oh, yep. Look it up.
Hang on.
New Mario movie.
Super Mario movie. Yeah, I'm gonna go new. Or no, I'm gonna go remake.
Yeah.
Super Mario movie remake. It's being auto completed. Let's see. No way.
What? Come on.
Nintendo has officially announced a Super Mario movie. The animated title will be supervised by Mario creator Shigeru Miyamoto, as well as Illumination Entertainment.
There's going to be minions in there.
There are no details with regard to its release date, but rumor has it the film might hit theaters in February or in 2020. That was as of February 1st, 2018.
Okay. Nothing new under the sun, my friend.
I didn't expect that.
It's okay.
I'm actually shocked by that. I did not expect that to be something that was happening.
I don't like Illumination Studios, but okay.
You don't?
I don't. I've never seen a movie that I thought like, okay, that was good. But I thought anyway. My first one. We've talked about this a little bit. I went with the one that we've already talked about. I think just between us though.
Yeah.
Starship Troopers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Starship Troopers. If you haven't seen it, is an 80s sci-fi movie. A lot of satire, a highly satirical sci-fi movie. about perpetual war, about like
Right.
recruitment to the military. There's a lot of stuff in there.
It's almost militarism, I think.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah,
blind
something. Yeah,
militarism.
basically, yeah. And I think we've talked about this, that the relevance of the themes have not gone away. It's in fact probably more relevant.
Poignant now.
Yeah. You could straight up copy things, you know, that George Bush and Trump have said, and I mean even Obama with it, like he.
Oh yeah.
Like just up the
I think
amount
Obama
of drone
is just
strikes
as much in there
that
as
that
not as
have
Trump, but Obama's right up there with George Bush.
Sure. Yeah, just the constant war.
Yeah.
We've been in war for 18, 19 years now, constantly. And it's just like you could parody that hard.
Absolutely, yeah.
The problem would be, I think it would probably bomb. It'd probably fail miserably because it would be seen as super political. Stop shoving your politics.
Yes, I think
by people who disagree with it.
Yeah, in fact,
and
again,
wouldn't understand it.
I think it would be even more poignant now, and it would suffer for it.
Yes,
in the same
100%.
way that people basically review bombed Captain Marvel because she's a woman.
And because Brie Larson has political opinions that I disagree with.
Ridiculous to me.
Right.
For so many, we've been over this before, but you could have gone and saw the movie and then review bombed it because it wasn't a great movie.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
You had an opportunity.
It was a perfectly average movie, maybe even below average. That's fair. That's a fair opinion. But yeah, so I think Starship Troopers would be a great. You could even have the same plot of like going to like the idea that they are the ones going and defeating the evil bugs when they realize halfway through the movie, wait a minute, we're the evil. We're the ones coming in and destroying them. Like this is their home. I
was thinking about Starship Troopers again and how mindless the bugs are throughout the movie, and then the celebration of the brain bug at the end.
Yeah.
And I picked up on another thread of just the relief that, oh, good, they can think enough to be aggressors. This isn't just we're fighting animals, like we're in war with something that doesn't even know that it's in a war.
Or like Neil Patrick Harris, he's like a psychic in that. He's the only one in that movie that actually had success after it. Beside bit players on the side.
Yeah.
He like reads its mind and he's like, it's afraid, and they all cheer and you're like, of course it is. You literally have been nuking its planet. Like, what if we went to the Middle East right now and found some people in Iraq and said they're afraid? Of course they.
No,
that's the.
What if it was somebody in America and you went into their home, grabbed them, dragged them out in a bag? And it's afraid.
It's clear. Yeah, exactly. It's the idea that we're bringing safety and peace, but we're the ones invading these places that we. I don't want to get political here, but that we are not defending ourselves more than we are attacking others.
Yes. In Starship Troopers, there is a kind of like a blind aggression in that the bugs are sending these asteroids from their orbit to us, but in reality, like, you get the idea that
entirely a defense mechanism.
Yeah. You basically told that. And so anyway,
all right, Remake. I looked it up while you were talking, so I already have it. So, if you wanted to do that for the next one, you're going to... Whatever,
Yeah.
In December 2011, film producer Neil H. Moritz announced plans to produce a reboot of the Starship Troopers film franchise. There are sequels. They're all trash.
Yes.
In November 2016, blah, 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 writing team had been signed to pen the screenplay. Verhoeven expressed skepticism, Paul Verhoeven, the director of the original, but whatever. As of 2016, there's a writing team. So it's probably in development hell, essentially. I would love to have it include more like of the military industrial complex of people profiting from war. Like you could add to it now more than you had in the original or change the theme, but I would love to see a remake of that movie. What's your next one?
Masters of the Universe.
Wow, you straight up went 80s like camp movies.
I want good movies for what they gave me in my childhood. Thank you very much.
Okay, all right.
I loved things as a kid, and they gave me crap for it.
Yeah, we definitely went different directions
here. The first Transformers movie I thought was a good movie. I would give the first Transformers movie a 7.5 out of 10.
Yeah, maybe.
I enjoyed it. It was good. It was simple.
It was fine.
And I think it really honored the original. I saw the second Transformers movie in theaters and hated it.
Yeah, how is this robot racist?
Gosh,
it's a robot.
It's so ridiculous.
From space.
And so, anyway, the first Master of the Universe movie starring Dolph Lundgren was similar in Mario Brothers in as much as it seemed to be a movie that was a script that was already written that they tried to shove the Masters of the Universe
Sure.
Title
Yeah,
on.
that happens a lot with those like, tie-in
Right.
branded movies like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
Licensed.
That's what I'm
movies,
looking for.
So here is a high fantasy story about a young man who is a prince and finds out that there is a magical weapon that can turn him into a hero, and he has to go and fight against an ultimate evil.
I mean, that's just generic fantasy
It's
right
so
there.
generic,
Yeah.
and it's so easy to make.
Yeah.
And there are so many 30-year-olds that want that to happen.
Yeah.
It's so easy. It's
Yeah,
one of
it
those
writes
things that's
itself.
just, that's
And I
just
mean, there is the new
shocking to me.
cartoon, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Isn't there a He-Man cartoon like the She-Ra?
There's a new She-Ra cartoon.
I thought there was
He-Man's not
also
even part
a
of it.
He-Man. No, maybe not.
Not that I know of.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, yeah, they could do that.
Yeah.
They could do that.
And so I feel like this is an opportunity to be able to make something really easy that would make easy money, and that would also give opportunity for a lot of like young actors and young directors to try something.
Oh, sure.
Like it would not be a good movie. It would probably be fine. It'd probably be a 6 out of 10 movie, but it would probably make $1 gajillion, and it would be a really simple creation. And so it's one of those things to me that not only do I want this to happen, but I'm confused that it hasn't yet. And so
Yeah.
if you guys don't know about Master of the Universe, it's He-Man.
It's the He-Man and the Masters of the
and
Universe.
the Masters of the Universe.
Was the cartoon.
And in the remake, it was like there was space and laser guns, and Skeletor was really
it was
weird looking.
weird.
It's really weird. And it also involved like the real world. There was this crossover between the He-Man world and the real world. But I feel like just an all high fantasy movie, which it's been a little while since we've had that type of movie, like a Lord of the Rings style, just straight up high fantasy.
I mean, yeah, movies,
adventure movie.
You got
Yeah.
you got a lot of TV shows now,
Yeah.
but
There's a lot of TV shows of everything
well,
right
sure,
now.
sure,
But
that's where it's going.
so I feel like there's an opportunity here to kind of fill in a space that isn't really huge right now, and to remake something that people want to see for the sake of nostalgia.
Sure,
Be
Just
really
for-
easy.
Make that movie for Dez.
Master of the Universe 2021.
Nope, there it is.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, that's real
Boom.
easy. It's in pre-production right now.
Yep. Okay, that's fair.
So Noah Centineo is
that guy.
going to be He-Man. If you don't know who Noah Centineo is, he is well known for To All the Boys I've Ever Loved,
It's a Netflix movie.
The Perfect Date,
Netflix movie. Is this a
Sierra-
Netflix production?
Sierra Burgess is a Loser,
That
The
might be a
Fosters.
I don't know.
He's a teen heartthrob.
Yeah, sure.
It doesn't look like...
Well, is he He-Man or is he Prince Eric or whatever his name is, who turns into He-Man?
Same thing. They're the same person.
Oh, I thought it was like a Shazam type thing where it's like a not super buff dude who turns into super buff dude.
No, he basically just wears less clothes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah.
fun.
So, Sony. So no, not Netflix. Sony Mattel.
Oh, that's even worse.
Yeah.
Sony's bad.
Sony Mattel.
Okay, well, my second movie, Office Space.
Ooh.
Office Space.
My last one, by the way, is one that is not bad, but it needs to be remade, just to be clear. But anyway, Office Space. Okay, Office Space.
Office Space. No, Office Space is a classic.
Yes.
It does not need to be remade because it was bad.
Right, and
it-
also one I think that you could watch Office Space now.
It's
and
still
be
relevant.
Exactly
100%.
as relevant.
Yeah. But they could create so the whole like workplace equality type thing
Yeah.
is a pretty big deal right now, and management versus workers, and like offices are changing in how they look. We had a friend who went and interviewed at Airbnb recently.
Oh.
He had like 5 hours of I won't say his name, but a friend of ours who recently had a baby. I had like 5 hours of interviews at Airbnb and got a look at their office area, and he said it was super millennial, like, you know, like all like not just like a gym and a daycare, but like kombucha on tap, and basically this whole new trend of making it possible for you to spend as much time in the office as so that you can just keep working.
Yeah.
It's a Google thing. It's these new big companies that are trying to do this, And I think that could work well for a tongue-in-cheek comedy about a new office, like how office politics work, and how management treats younger people, and how like the disparity between like how much college costs and how much you are expected to go to college for a basic,
Right.
and just like, and how much you're paid at, like, pay all these inequality things. The first one was largely just a couple of white dudes and then one Indian guy, but that like diversity is such a huge thing now that it should be involved, and pay gaps and maternity leave and all these things that could be relevant to today's modern workspace and still be a tongue-in-cheek funny movie.
Yeah.
I think it would work really well. It's not one that I'm like, why haven't they done that? Because that's a movie that is, like we said,
Kind of
pretty
timeless.
well. Like, I just watched it a couple months ago, still hilarious. But I would love to see a new one that kind of takes on some of the new stuff, some of the new kind of modern workplace issues that are going on right now. I looked it up, nothing.
Interesting.
Nothing. Mostly just like how it became a cult classic, and are we gonna see one? And yeah,
I think an Office Space like limited series would be good, like planned for 2 seasons.
Oh sure,
or something
yeah.
like that.
I mean, a lot of stuff is being done that way, and that would give you a lot more opportunity to address all these issues.
But like specifically it'd be interesting because what made The Office so
Office Space.
Sorry, right? Made Office Space. I have The Office something.
Yes,
made
you do.
Office Space so poignant in its time was the idea of just to stop caring. But
Yes.
kind of the millennial office mindset almost lends to that. Almost lends to you like, hey, relax, man. Don't take work too seriously.
Right.
Have your kombucha on tap and our nap pods. And
Yeah,
things
just
like
go.
that.
Yeah, go find a hammock in our nap space. Yeah,
And so I wonder how they would address that today. And I mean, I really like the idea. I almost wonder just how it would work though. But
no, I'm not even saying it has to be the same plot. To me, Office Space is more about office politics and office like culture.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that could work well for
All right,
the new one.
my last movie,
Got a last movie. Okay, yep.
Last movie.
That was my last one. So
Goonies.
I'm gonna straight up say no. Don't stop. That's a terrible, terrible idea.
Goonies.
You need to sell me on this one hard.
The original is a fantastic classic.
Yes,
And it's so good and
Yes.
so fun.
I watched it at my grandma's house with my grandma sitting there, and I remember every time they cursed, she would go. I was like 7 or 8 when I was watching it, and it was just funny to me.
But it's also just super 80s.
Yeah.
And the quality of CG and the quality of a lot of things about it have kind of like faded. And if you were to put that in and watch it today, we can watch it with nostalgia and enjoyment.
Sure.
But younger audiences today are going to watch that. And
Oh, they're not gonna like it at all.
No. And this, I think, is something of a quality that it remaking it, I don't think would be an insult to it.
Yeah.
And I think that this is like
Well,
an opportunity for a new generation to be able
I don't
to
know. The
take this.
Goonies might be one of those ones to me where it's like, don't worry about it. Don't touch it. Just
I don't think it needs to be remade. I think it would be,
sure. Yeah, I'll
Right.
agree there.
I think it would be awesome if it were. And also you can update a lot of like things that are a little bit rough, like the portrayal of the mentally ill and with Sloth and things like that.
I mean, he was the
And-
hero at the end of the story.
yeah, absolutely.
But,
But
yes.
also the
bad
Asian
guys.
kid.
Oh yeah. You had some stereotypes. 100%.
Yeah.
It is a product of its time,
Yeah, absolutely.
for better or for
absolutely.
worse.
But just being able to take something that is such a good classic with some minor flaws in it,
Yeah.
to be able to update it into a time and make it just something that is outstanding and phenomenal,
Man,
I think would be a
and-
lot of fun.
Man, I could see it now though, because Josh Brolin and Sean
Astin?
Astin are both really popular right now still, and like they would be in there for sure.
Yeah.
And here's what I'll say: I think it would be a good thing if they remade it with the same tone, not with
Yes.
the same jokes, but there's not really a lot of gate or like movies that kind of hit that halfway point between children's fun adventure movie and like adult funny adventure movie. Like that one was a really good one because it had these teenagers who cursed, but it also was just about them trying to find a treasure on an adventure together. But it also had like this emotional aspect of being able to stay in your home and not like there was a reason why they were doing this, and it wasn't just fun. Like, and it was set in Oregon, and that's fun to see. And the spatially like. There's so many weird things when you watch it now.
Yeah,
it's like,
living in Oregon.
you are
You're
living
like,
in.
Wait, how did they?
You're in Astoria, but you're looking at a rock that's hundreds of miles away from you. Anyway, yeah, because I think that would be a good remake if they kept the tone, because there's not many of those kinds of movies left.
No, yeah, that kind of like dark adventure film.
Well,
would be
yeah, or a little bit
fun.
of scary things, a little bit of stakes to what's going on, and just actually kind of depicts teenagers and how they would actually act.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not like in this
25-year-old
exactly
being
yes.
in like I mean, Riverdale is tongue in cheek. I don't think they're entirely trying to say this is what real life is, but like I want something that's more realistic.
The OC was exactly the same
Yeah,
way.
yeah, 100%.
This is how high schoolers are.
Yeah,
or
no,
whatever.
you're wrong.
So-
That's not
So, Goonies remake, nothing.
okay.
Goonies 2,
Oh,
probably never going to happen.
yeah, sure.
So there was
sure,
there was a lot of talk about it and a lot of attempt, but
Yeah.
as of April 21st, 2019, so not too long ago,
Yeah.
Screen Rant, Sean Astin doesn't think Goonies 2 will ever happen, but would be fine with a reboot.
Oh,
So
sure.
That's the only real news that
Yeah.
we have is
Steven Spielberg would probably never do that.
right.
And so it'd be hard to find some, like, you'd have to, I don't know how it would go.
Yep.
He probably owns it still, actually. It's probably Amblin Entertainment. Okay, so those are movies.
Yep.
We're gonna move on to
TV shows?
I want to wait till games. Yeah, games
Yeah.
will be last. But TV shows. For the first one, I kind of cheated a little bit. And I went with a web series called The Guild.
Oh.
You watched The Guild, I assume,
Yeah.
with
Felicia
Day and others.
Not Will Ferrell, dang it.
Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton
is a
thank
pretty
you.
main character
Yeah,
toward
Will
the
Wheaton.
end. But yeah, I think that would work really well. Because I think it portrayed gaming culture in a fairly real way.
Well, I mean, Felicia Day made it because of that.
Oh,
For that
100%.
I actually read Felicia Day's autobiography.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I wish
have it.
I wish they had more budget though. I wish they were able to do more with it. It had some really good jokes. I'd be okay if it was essentially the same plot.
Man, if you could take Felicia Day and then pair her with I can never remember the guy's name. I always want to call him Grant Morrison, but the guy who did The Office, and have it be like that, like where
Michael
it's a
Schur and
where it's a documentary about this
that
guild
could be funny.
of
Yeah.
WoW players or
Yeah.
whatever, and it's essentially The Office but for WoW players.
right.
I think that would be awesome.
Well, yeah, but what I would want to see is more interaction with it just about how like it could comment on online culture
Yeah.
and comment on like I love that the guild had 3 main characters that were female. And I want to see more of just like how we interact with females on how men interact with females online, and I want to see a
Because
lot.
that is something that is
Yeah,
still a
the
big issue.
Gamergate
Yeah.
that happened, whatever, and it's still just like people are trash online toward
Yeah,
others.
in fact, in the guild, the strongest, most confident character was Tinker Balla,
yeah,
a woman character. Yeah, she was
Right.
awesome.
And then it went into other realms of like they went to a con at one point, and that was really fun. Like I really think they could do some more with it. They could also put more time and money into creating like there was like one scene, if I remember, where they are actually in the game. It's showing their characters in the game, and I want more of that too. I want more of how they interact online in the game, and then like kind of see how that affects outside of game and all that kind of stuff. I'm not even gonna look this up. That's not a thing.
No,
No,
there's
it's not
no
going to be
way
a
it's gonna
thing.
be a
I don't
thing.
ever expect it to be, but I would love that because I love the guild.
That'd be really interesting. I can see that being a series again, maybe a limited
Another
something
series,
like
yeah,
that.
sure.
So,
I would love that to happen.
that'd be good.
Yeah.
Ready for mine?
No,
It's super.
now I am.
It's super relevant to me right now. The Dresden Files.
Yeah, there was a short. It was like a 1-season show, right?
Yeah, it was like 6
It ended
episodes
pretty
of
quick.
a TV show of the Dresden Files, and this is kind of in the same vein
Yeah.
of the other movies. Of it wasn't good.
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
I thought the main character was cast I thought Dresden was cast really well.
Really.
Yeah.
I have a very specific picture in my head of who Harry Dresden is, and it
I
wasn't
do
him.
not have the investment that you
And
do.
so I didn't like that.
Okay.
Honestly, I think John Krasinski would make a good Harry Dresden. A huge part of
I mean, I guess.
of who Harry Dresden is he's a super tall, very casual, whatever type of guy. But he just cares a lot. Like he's just a very like fiercely loyal but really laid back kind of guy.
Here's the thing: I have not read I've read the first 2 books,
Right.
And I know very little about him compared to you. To me, he's pretty much a douchebag. who helps people sometimes.
It's the
He's
first
a kind
two
of a
books,
terrible person in my mind.
The first two books suffer
yeah,
from a white knight mindset of
100%.
the writer.
That is exactly what he is.
And they get better, significantly better.
Cool.
But anyway, the Dresden series hit something, had a problem that a lot of short-lived series at that time had, and that was a production production, whether it be Fox or whatever else, like some sort of work thing, getting their hands in there saying, okay, sure, but this is what people really want.
I don't think they were super confident.
This is what people want.
It wasn't a super well-known property, so
the content of the Dresden Files is incredibly good. In fact, fantasy noir is kind of a thing with Grimm and Fringe, and there were a few shows like that that were Fringe is more sci-fi, but still, like, there's this fantasy noir, True Blood, that became very popular, and the Dresden Files was before all of these. And the ability to take something of a lovable ragamuffin hero who is in this high or low fantasy world, but also this really good crime drama with incredible characters, incredible character growth.
Yeah, it could work really well.
So much good about this.
And to me, it would just be a standard crime procedural.
Yeah, absolutely.
Which people eat up.
Yeah, and you could do that, but instead of them going and being like, okay, I need to go put this in the spectrum analyzer and then pull it up,
he starts drawing a circle.
Whatever. Yeah, it's okay. I just need to make sure that I have my alchemy correct and that I'm checking my spirit of intellect over here, Bob the Skull, and seeing what he knows, and just treating it as straight as possible.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I not only would I eat.
I think it
show,
could work.
I think everybody.
Anything could work if it has the right mindset to it. And I think that's one that would be popular.
So yeah, Dresden Files is my TV show of choice.
My second TV show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Again, I went with the how could it improve and how could it teach us things? Income inequality between race, between like culture, between class.
And that show was groundbreaking.
It was. It really was. And it did a lot of that. I'm not trying to say that Fresh Prince it did a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we are now 25 years after that show came out and was a thing. I think it could do more. I think it could like address how things look. It could have a lot, like, to me, this is 60% comedy, 40% drama.
Yeah.
To me, this is a different Fresh Prince.
Yeah, I mean, Fresh Prince was probably 80% comedy, 20%
Yeah, there were a lot of really good episodes.
Yeah.
Like, everybody always mentions the episode where he gets ditched by his father again.
Yeah,
and he has that speech.
To me, the big one was when Will and Carlton are trying to get into a frat in college.
Yeah,
and it's like a really black frat. And
they won't like Carlton.
They don't want Carlton, and Carlton's like, and he has this huge speech. Then it's like, this is just a different kind of oppression.
Right.
You're doing the exact same thing that you identify with, but backwards. Like, how dare you?
There's
a
lot of good stuff like that, and I think it could work well. Also, I think they could make like other side characters, Hillary, more depthful.
Mm-hmm.
She was mostly just airhead, rich girl, and you could still like have her be an example of like class, like my wife talks a lot about how income and like class level is more about race nowadays. Like there's just so much inherent segregation really is what it is, even though we don't consider that to be a thing anymore. Like there's just so many what's the one bias, internal bias, whatever the word I'm looking for, that we have, that it kind of forces people into where they're supposed to be. And I think that could really work in a new show. I would love to see that. Also, as far as being remade, Will Smith has said, I will be the new Uncle Phil. I'm down.
Yeah.
He said he one time tweeted a picture and he looked like Uncle Phil. I think it was like he still had the Deadshot
facial hair.
He had like the facial hair and was bald.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, yeah, he looks like Uncle Phil now.
Speaking of which, the moment in The Office where there's Jim and Richard Nixon next to each other. Yeah, John Krasinski looks like Richard Nixon, and it's really funny.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. I don't remember that.
even today, I mean, to say how poignant that show was back in the 90s, today, 30 years later, almost 20 years later, if you were to say there is a show, a sitcom about a wealthy judge who takes in his ragamuffin nephew into his, wealthy Bel Air mansion home, and about how the dynamic between class is there with their butler and whatnot, you'd still picture a white family.
We associate wealth and race, like levels of wealth and race, so intertwined that that's just what you picture. And so I think it could be really good. Yeah.
My second TV show.
I
have one more TV show. Is an easy one.
Okay.
Firefly.
See, I had that on my list and I took it off because
Firefly,
I don't think it could work. I don't think it could ever work again.
I don't think it should be the same crew and everything like that.
That's what people love about Firefly, though. The universe is great, but you don't have Captain Mal there. People are not going to want to watch it.
I think you have a captain who is witty and awesome and cool, or maybe
then they'll just internally
compare
him to Captain Mal.
Okay,
or her. Sorry. They'll just I don't think it would work, man.
I think it would be like Scrubs season 9, but imagine you didn't get 8 seasons of Scrubs before that.
But we did get season 1 of Firefly.
You get 16 episodes of it, and you want more. You're aching for more of the exact same thing.
I think it would work better if they made like a sequel movie.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
But I want new characters.
Okay.
That's
fair.
I want this to be a reboot. Maybe that would be better.
Okay.
A reboot.
Now there is a
Firefly.
comic series, an ongoing Firefly comic series. It's decent, I think. But yeah, that was one where I'm like, I'm not gonna say I don't want it. I'm just gonna say I don't think it would really work. I don't think it would have the success that I think people would start watching it, find too many flaws with it. I think it would be the Arrested Development problem.
I can
where
see
people
that.
held it in such high esteem, and then when new season came out and it really didn't reach that level, largely because of people's preconceived expectations,
right?
It just kind of flopped.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. I could see that happen. People
even if on its own it's fine.
Yeah, they kind of put Firefly on a pedestal that of perfection that it probably doesn't deserve to be on. It was very, very good.
Yeah, 100%. No, it's not
better.
Not an amazing show. It is
an amazing show.
It's a very good show,
but it's not a perfect show.
Well, okay, that's what I mean. Yes.
And so I think that's fair. But I still think I want a reboot of that. I want to get back into that world. I want to know who the people with Hands of Blue are. They built so much story,
so many little threads that never got
and
and some of them have been addressed in the comic book. We can't not say that.
Yeah, but who's going to read the comic book of the Firefly fans?
I am currently reading it.
Okay, what? Maybe 15% of the Firefly
fans. I understand it's not going to be everybody, but if you're looking for more Firefly, then it exists.
Right.
Okay.
Video games.
The second one for me is so obvious that I'm going to leave it for last.
Okay.
First one, Banjo-Kazooie.
All right.
Banjo-Kazooie. Come on. It's such a classic platformer. People love it. There's a reason why Banjo and Kazooie are in Smash now, because obviously they work really well for the series, but for the game. But it's just such this cult classic. Not even a cult classic. It's just a classic game, and we have seen recently, Yooka-Laylee was okay, but the sequel came out and people like it a lot more. Ratchet and Clank got remade, and people like it, don't like it, but it was a decent game. People like these 3D platformers. It could easily be a Kickstarter game, I think.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
you could
I'm not saying
crap out of
I'm not saying a huge company is going to make it. Although maybe they will now that there's popularity. Banjo and people have seen that they wanted Banjo and Kazooie in Smash. Maybe that will kind of get something going. I haven't actually looked this one up yet, but I think it's just a no-brainer.
Yeah, that is an easy.
This is an easy Switch game.
Man, to me, you said the second one's obvious. More obvious.
Oh,
than
the
Banjo
second one,
Kazooie.
yes.
Okay.
The second one is why. What are you doing right now with your life, game makers?
My first video
Actually,
game.
I think that's the same company. I made both.
Maybe I think I know what you're going to say then for the second one. But my first one is Blood Omen: Legacy of Kain.
Ah, that one. I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver was an incredibly popular game.
Yes, that one's the one I know
on the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
But the Legacy of Kain is this actual entire world that is if you're into D&D at all, imagine Ravenloft. And it's just this like this gothic fantasy
horror
world,
kind of
gothic
thing,
horror. But the original game is called Blood Omen: Legacy of Kain, and it comes from the perspective of Kain, a vampire, going around this world trying to reestablish his dominance. And there is this character of Kain who he's not a good person by any means at all. He is an anti-hero.
Sure.
But it's him like walking around saying like, this place is filled with these disgusting creatures and they need to be put back in their place. And
that's fun.
He's kind of like this unlikable person, but he's not wrong. Like the horrible things he's talking about are these horrific horrors.
Oh, they're actual things that should be
they're bad things. Yeah, he's right.
He's not a likable person, but he's doing something you could agree with.
Right.
Okay.
And he's strong and he's powerful and he's
so strong.
Yeah. And I played
so powerful.
I played Blood Omen: Legacy of Kain as a kid, and I loved it. I ate it up. But it was like this top-down RPG. I think you could easily make a huge sandbox fantasy game. Sure. That is Blood
with
Omen:
the
Legacy
whole
of Kain.
with the sequel to Vampire Masquerade or Vampire Bloodlines. With that happening, maybe that's if people like that, maybe they'll kind of go in that direction with it. Especially and like Bloodborne being popular, that gothic genre for sure.
So
look it up.
So we didn't look up our TV show ones.
Nah, it's fine.
That's because I knew for a fact that neither Firefly nor Dez and Files were going to be made.
Yeah.
But it looks like the remake of Blood Omen: Legacy of Kain was happening and officially died as of June 27th, 2019. Just got shot down.
Oh,
fully.
yeah.
That breaks my heart because it was so good. Okay. Your second video game.
Is it my... Oh, yeah, because you just went. I was like, isn't
Omen.
it your turn? You're going to be like, obviously, when I say this.
Is it Donkey Kong Country?
No. They still make Donkey Kong Country games.
Do they?
Yeah, like Tropical Freeze, I think is what it's called. Came out on the Switch.
No idea.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
GoldenEye.
Oh yeah.
Why haven't they remade GoldenEye with that?
Come on, guys.
Like the originator of the not the originator, but the one that made the multiplayer deathmatch a thing.
Yeah.
Like, why would they not remake that? Plus, the campaign was really fun. It's a first-person shooter. It's like people would love it. People would eat that up. It's like, especially if you put a strong multiplayer component, because that's what people today look for in a first-person shooter.
That's
and then you'd
obvious.
get the old crowd who want to play the campaign again, who have these great memories and want to get together with their old buddies and play some more GoldenEye all night long. I would freaking eat that up. I would pre-order it right now. Even if you said it might exist, I'd be like, done, $60, here you go. Like, it's just, to me, baffling why they have not created. They made a sequel. It was
bad.
It was a bad sequel on the Wii, I think.
Oh, you're not talking about Perfect Dark?
No, Perfect Dark was like a spiritual successor.
Yeah.
I understand that. They made an actual sequel on the Wii, and it was also stupid. Like, it was just not worth time. I don't know what it was, but...
There is no GoldenEye remake coming. There's a fan
remake.
And that is coming.
Yes.
It looks really cool. I
have a TechSpot article right now.
Nice.
But yeah, and it looks okay, but it is still a game that's like put front and center in like speed run.
Yeah.
Man, if you watch, there's a speed run of GoldenEye, the campaign, of course, on it's like SGDQ from a couple of years ago of two people playing. They both have their own controller, but only one of them only controls the movement and the other one controls the shooting. And it's it's so incredible. Like, obviously they've so well choreographed together, but it's just one of the most entertaining speedruns I've ever seen. Like, people still play this. People want this game. Make another one, man. Make another.
Absolutely.
Make another GoldenEye.
You definitely do that.
I would put all the classics in there. You could play as Odd Job, Slappers Only, like all the memes, get them in there. Like, it might be a problem with like the license, but make it happen, guys. I want to play that game again.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
That'd be good. That'd be real good. Okay. My last one, and the one that we are going to be finishing up on here, is Shadow of the Empire.
Star Wars
Shadow of the Empire was an N64 game which you play as Dash Rendar, and you run around basically the events in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
It was a phenomenal game.
All right.
It was so good. but it was N64 janky. It had bugs, it had issues,
Right.
it had N64 graphics and whatever else, but it also told the fantastic Shadows of the Empire story from the perspective of Dash Rendar. And
Were you a Jedi? Was he a Jedi?
no, he's
Okay.
just a smuggler,
Dude man.
yeah, smuggler, bounty
Gotcha.
hunter type guy,
Yeah.
and being like a person that you got to go against people with lightsabers, or you're running from Darth Vader and things like that, in a time in which Star Wars is still so hot right now.
Right.
I think that is another one, just like GoldenEye in the N64 era, that is just ripe for a remake.
Yeah. Well, things are looking good for the new one. I forget what it's called. The new Star Wars game. Previews are coming out that are saying it's pretty solid, like really good. And so maybe it'll happen. Maybe
that would be great. I would really, really like that. I'm looking it up right now. There are no results for Shadow of the Empire N64 remake.
Wow. Okay, that is
Like,
usually there's even
literally
at least a YouTube
not even a
video
conversation
about.
on it.
Yeah. Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So that game though was a great game. It was way fun. A great third-person shooter, especially now with the over-the-shoulder cover shooter being such an like a popular thing. I think you can make a phenomenal
Video game remakes
game
are
out of that.
in a really good spot right now.
Yeah.
Remakes, we're saying, not just remasters. I mean, there's lots of good remasters, but remakes, like with Resident Evil 2 and with what was the other really good remake? Well, good. I'm prepared for this conversation.
Resident Evil 2 and
I mean,
Medieval?
yeah, you have Medieval. I think like Ratchet and Clank remake was fairly decent.
Yeah.
And like when they're taking a game
Final
and not
Fantasy
just
VII?
remastering it, but making it new.
Yeah.
For the new audience.
Yep.
I think that's and there's lots of games that could use that for sure.
Awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much. Let us know what movie, TV show, or video game you think should be remade. Let us know what you think about our choices and our opinions on it. And that's what we got.
That's real quick here. I keep forgetting to do this, but I wanna shout out. Hey, we have a YouTube channel. If you happen to be listening here on like Stitcher or one of the other podcast sources, we have a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/dezandfoxplay. And we have a lot of gaming stuff going on up there all the time. As of recording right now, I've got a few more episodes of my Celeste playthrough. I'm going to be finishing up my Final Fantasy X playthrough pretty soon here. We've got some more Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening remake. That's another remake that I didn't mention just now. That is not just a remaster,
Right,
but
that's
kind
a
of a whole
remake,
new game. Yeah. So we've got a bunch of stuff going on up there. Plus that you can find like now from old episodes of the Nerdy Gritty.
I'm playing Bloodborne right now.
Bloodborne's going on up there. We got a lot of stuff. We put a lot of content up there. So go check it out if you feel so inclined. And thanks for listening, guys.
Yeah. We'll see you next time. Always remember that save games, save lives.
Bye.